Hello, everyone. Welcome to Laser Tech Tuesdays at 2. I'm Jaye Cottrill, and I'm the Marcom Manager for LTI. Every Tuesday around 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we go live for about 15 minutes to discuss solutions in traffic safety or professional measurement. So grab a cup of coffee and join us. If you're joining us live, you can post a comment below and let us know what's on your mind. If you're viewing the replay on YouTube, we'd love to hear from you, and you can reach us at info@lasertech.com. And today, Derrick Reish with LaserTech returns to talk about mapping solutions, and we're also joined with Mike George from DDSI. So, hi guys, thanks for coming.
Oh, you bet. Thanks for having us.
Derrick, how long have you been the Senior Product Manager for Professional Measurement?
I've been with the company 22 years, and yeah, and I've been in the product management for about 19 of those years. So I've
Okay.
a good run.
So, as a product manager, do you get to dream up the new products, or what is that you do?
Well, the one thing I do is I work with customers users like Mike George here. Kind of listen to what the market's talking about, our current products, what their needs are, and then I'm able to bring that back to the engineering team, and we just start to design new products, new solutions. That could be different apps, that can be different lasers or different modular systems. But a lot of feedback from the customers in the marketplace, so works out well.
Yeah. So, Mike, you're project manager with DDSI. How long have you been with the company?
Let's see. I started in May of 2013. So it's been going on. I think this is going to be my 8th year. And yeah, it's been I can't believe it's already been 8 years already. But so yeah, I started off as kind of came into as their senior GIS coordinator role to kind of take things on what they had on the GIS side of the company, and then somewhat involved into a project management role. So at this point, I kind of do a little bit of everything, which includes essentially dealing with clients, acquiring new business, handling the client. Then I get to go out in the field for some of the projects to go and do some of the field work. And then on the back end, we do some of the data development and custom mapping and deliverables that we produce for all of our different clients.
That's a lot. So I have both of you on today because we want to promote a webinar that's coming up that you both are taking part in. Derrick, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, we've got a upcoming webinar with GPS World, and so basically the title of it, or what we're going to be talking about, is how to collect remote positions using GNS receivers that you might already have, GIS apps, and incorporating a laser rangefinder in that workflow. And so yeah, that's we've got it set for March 25th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Correct, Mike?
That's correct, Mountain Standard.
So who would benefit from this webinar? What industries would be interested in this information?
Actually, probably a lot of different industries that collect data in the field. Anybody that's using GNSS receivers or needing to collect positions out in the field could utilize this solution. Like Mike, he's got a lot of different applications that he works with and everything like that he works with this whole this whole workflow.
All right. And how would you register if you wanted to attend this?
Actually, the easiest way is I think we're going to throw that link out on the video here, but go just to gpsworld.com and check out their webinars. They've got it up there, and then you can also check out, we have a couple different things on our social media that we're talking about that they can go there and register. So we're looking forward to it. It'll be about an hour long. We're going to do a deep dive into the solution. There'll be three of us on the call or on the webinar that day.
Right. And plenty of time for questions and answers at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Mike, what are some questions that you're frequently asked in the field?
Let's see. I'd say that probably our most frequent question is, when we're out there is, so what are you guys doing here? Um, what is being prepared to be built here? So, because usually when anybody sees a surveyor, they know that some sort of development is coming soon behind them. So that's definitely the first question that we're asked.
Kind of get off my lawn type of people.
Well, there's, depending on the situation, yeah, there's a little bit of that. You know, they want to know what's going on, especially in this year of COVID. When last summer, when everybody was working from home, you know, you had a lot of people out and about where they were, you know, just a year ago in the before times. You know, most people were at work, so you wouldn't see very many people, but that was not the case, especially this last year. So just a lot of people being curious on what you're working on, what you're doing, and then that leads into what kind of equipment are you using, and then you know, they might have been doing, you know, that person might have been a surveyor in the past, or they were an architect, and then they'll look at some of our new equipment and be like, wow, it's, you know, surveying has changed quite a bit, or, you know, any field data collection has changed a lot. You know, we used to remember doing it this way, and now we're using, you know, all GPS equipment, you know, high-end total stations, laser offset tools, and drones to capture all the different pieces of the puzzle to put together a deliverable for the client. So it's a variety of different things, but generally it's what's going on, what's my neighbor doing, is he tearing down and rebuilding a new house, and am I going to have to deal with that?
Right. Well, it's good to be informed, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some concerns that you hear from clients when you're starting a new project?
Well, their biggest concern is how soon can you get going? How fast can you start? And then how soon can you turn around the data? And so that kind of gets into play on what we're going to be talking about in the webinar, which kind of goes back to what Derrick was just talking about, like, you know, who would benefit from this? You know, that can be pretty much anybody that does field data collection would get some benefit from this webinar. So that would be, you know, whether you work for a city or a town or a county and you're collecting municipal data, whether you're in public works or the planning department or an open space and trails department, you know, this kind of data would be helpful for them. And then, you know, that going back into how this, you know, some of their concerns are, you know, using these tools saves us time in the field. And whenever we can save time, that allows us to turn the data around quicker and then essentially move on to the next project.
So to give us an idea, before we had all these wonderful tools, how long did it take you to complete a project?
Well, I guess it depends on the type of project. You know, we DDSI, we're a design, drafting, and surveying firm, so we work in a bunch of different industries. So, you know, one of our main core industries is oil and gas, and those projects are, you know, they're a long-term project where we might be in the field every day for weeks, months, even years for a single project. So that's a little bit different. Then we work in the telecom space, where some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about next week, we're going to show some examples of that. Those are typically a lot of different projects, but it's a 1 to maybe maximum 2 days of field work. Mostly it's a 1 day. And then same for residential and commercial development projects. A residential job, essentially, you know, you need to get it done in a day. There's not enough room in the budget to go any over that. And, you know, you might have to go back for different stages of the project, whether it be for construction staking or, you know, for the end of the project where we have to design another document for them to prove that the project was built to specs. So typically all of our jobs are a 1 day field, but for many different phases of the project. Yeah.
Right.
So, but we shoot for all of our stuff to be done in a day.
So you were saying that you hit a new record last week of how many different sites you surveyed?
We did do quite a few. Things are picking up, I think, and so we were out in the field for, I think, 7 different jobs, and so for each one of those, we were able to use pretty much all the tools in our toolkit, and that includes, you know, the lasers themselves, plus some of the drones that we get to implement whenever we can, and then of course our survey equipment. And even some tape measures. We still have to go back to use tape measures for some solutions. It's out there. We have to, it serves a purpose. So the key is balancing to using all these different tools for these purposes to get the product done as quickly as we can.
All right. So do you have a favorite laser that you use?
Well, a favorite. I guess I more have a story. Like we started off using the TruePulse 360 because that was our best tool for the job that we had, and allowed us to do the offsets that we did without having to use what wasn't quite available at that time or very implemented, which was the new range solution, which we'll talk about on Thursday. But I would say in the last couple of years, we've been exclusively using the 200X as our go-to solution. We use that for most of our telecom jobs when we need to measure distances, and including for heights. Heights is a very key. It's a required deliverable on some of our stuff, so we're using that for some of that. And then we use it for some of our pre-drone flights too.
That's what I was going to ask you about, Mike.
Yeah.
How you use the laser with the pre-flight planning with your drones, or is it mainly just for height measurements at that time?
Yeah, pretty much for heights. I mean, we want to know where we're going to be at. What's the highest feature that we can essentially? It's in our project scope area, and then once we essentially can figure out. You can pretty much eyeball where that feature's at. Take the height using the measurement, because I don't know, kind of like my golf game. I always think that the pin is closer than it's supposed to be, and the same thing is true for heights. You go to look at it, you're like, that's probably only 100 feet, and then you go to measure it, and it's much taller, right? And so we want to be at least at minimum 100 feet above whatever the tallest structure is. So then we use that in pre-calculations for our pre-flight planning.
All right. Derrick, do you have a favorite laser?
I usually go towards the TruePulse 360 model, just because it gives us our distance, inclination, and then it has the compass built in, so it gives up the full 3D portion on that. And so that's the one I always grab to show or demo or do anything, is the TruePulse 360.
Right. Well, Derrick and Mike, thank you for taking the time to join me live today. It has almost been 15 minutes. And it went by fast. Yeah. So do you have any thoughts or additional ideas that you want to leave with everyone before we sign off?
The webinar that we've got. I really appreciate Mike jumping on and doing this webinar. Like he mentioned, he's got a lot of tools in that toolbox, and he uses everything to get that deliverable. So he is an expert in the field. So I really appreciate you jumping on the webinar. Again, we'll be talking about all these different workflows, different apps, from like the Trimble TerraFlex to the new Leica Xeno mobile app that they have. It's pretty cool, and you'll see all these different workflows and see it actually how it uses it in the field. So that's pretty much we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it as well. There's going to be some new stuff that I'm going to learn every time that we do something together, Derrick. I learn something from you, and there's new apps that you guys get to use that we necessarily don't get to try right out of the box. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of those new things as well.
It'll be a very interesting webinar for sure.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone else who's watched today. If you want to be alerted about upcoming Tuesday at 2 events, click the like button and follow LaserTech's page. And if you're watching us on YouTube, click subscribe to follow our channel, and then hit the notification bell so you can be alerted to new videos. We'll be live again next Tuesday with Tyler Gaxeter, who is with our partner, Discovery Management. He is also an expert in GPS mapping, so if you send us your questions about GIS or offset mapping, we'll do our best to answer them. So until then, let's keep building safer communities. Thank you.